Hello everyone, the Honest Collector here to give you the truth on the Hasbro Marvel Legends Astonishing X-Men Colossus and Kitty Pryde 2-pack. I know this is something that a lot of people were waiting for. They really wanted to finish their Astonishing X-Men collection or team, and now this is something that actually can do that. I believe these were the ones that were missing, and now I believe the team is done. I do want to get Beast now, which I know is in that comic wave. And not exactly an Astonishing X-Men team. I just want an X-Men team, and I know the Astonishing X-Men are the ones that are kind of out and the most obtainable. But I need a classic Cyclops. I might get the Astonishing Cyclops to, fill in that gap right now. I don't have any Cyclops, actually, right now. But let's take a look at these two, because I've really wanted Colossus for a long time, and did they deliver in this 2-pack? Did they deliver in the way I was expecting in this 2-pack is a question that I do want to answer. So just taking a look at the packaging, it looks great. I really like this packaging for some reason. The way it looks, the shining Astonishing X-Men right here, and it actually being spot varnished looks really nice, and that is really cool. You got the little comic panels in the back there. On the side, you have them two here facing each other. Kitty Pryde and Marvel's Colossus. On the back, there's a read-up that says Kitty Pryde returns to Xavier Institute to teach a new generation of mutants, but is astonished to discover former love Colossus resurrected from the dead. Pretty interesting story, and actually a really informative read-up. This actually gives a lot of information here. Then you have this very odd image of them two just, with each other. It's nice. I definitely think it's cool seeing her kind of phase through him. That looks really nice, but it's definitely interesting. Interesting choice, interesting pick. But yeah, let's get onto the figures. I cannot talk. So first, we're going to take a look at Kitty Pryde here. I actually have the alternate head sculpt on her, not the one that came out, that she came out of the package with. And then I also do have Lockheed on top of her here. This, I just swooshed the tail around the back like that, and then you're able to just plop him on top, which is pretty cool. Just taking a look at this really quickly, it feels pretty cheap, just flimsy, and it's nothing crazy. It's like the other ones we've gotten. He's got the red eyes and the little teeth painted there, which is nice. So nothing crazy, but it's okay. I'm not expecting him to do too much. Kitty Pryde here. Let's actually take this head sculpt off and put the ponytail one here. So this is how she looks out of the packaging. I really do like this look, but I also, something about this head sculpt I just really do like. It just seems a little more kind of, when she's not super just battle ready, it has a little more personality to her, and I think posed with Colossus especially, it's very important to have that kind of guard down kind of look. So here it's okay, there's nothing painted, so the ponytail, it's just brown plastic, which I do think they need to step up with that. The ponytail, of course, does swivel. It doesn't disconnect easily, so that's good. And then she looks okay. This belt piece is kind of annoying me because it just keeps on floating up and down. And it's funny because it could actually be sculpted and no issues would be, because this figure can barely articulate. All this whole section here, we've seen this body on Elektra, on Spinneret, Black Widow, on everyone basically. So this is a very dated body. And then you also see we do have the wrist pegs, or not wrist pegs, but the wrist joints, or the actual hands, are so small compared to the forearm, because we have these huge cuffs that flare out, but it looks a little unnatural. I think your hands need to be a little bigger. The other ones I think are okay. Oh, Colossus just fell. Actually, let's see how this looks without. Yeah, those hands are just too small, man. That looks ridiculous. And then taking a look at the alternate hands that she comes with, those look better. They have a lot of palm, like wrinkled lines, because they also use them for other figures. But putting that back on, there we go. She looks okay. I like the zipper going down. That looks good. It's not on the rest of the figure for some reason. So I don't know if is it supposed to be? I feel like that would make sense since it's a suit. Yeah, it should. And it just doesn't. I don't get that. Why would they? Okay. That annoys me because it just looks so weird. So yeah, that's odd. And then everything else is just kind of dated. Like, this is all painted on. It's very thin yellow paint that you can easily see the black peeking through. and they just didn't do any, like the paint on her butt is fuzzy, like fuzzy. It is very weird. The yellows don't match at all. It's just, I don't know if you could tell on camera, but it's just not, it's not the best, I'll be honest. And then the yellows are different too for the wrist cuffs here. The paint on her torso is also fuzzy and a little spotty. So it's just passable, kind of like how it's a pooped out comic figure, like Marvel Legends. The Hasbro team just kind of this went out to go with the Colossus, but I do still like it. I think it's sculpted well. The proportions and everything like that are decent enough aside from the hands. And yeah, so putting this head sculpt on here, she looks a little old, like a lot older with this head sculpt for some reason. It's also the eyes seem a little more dead and differently positioned, and I think that's why. But it's okay. It just doesn't, it also doesn't look like the comic panels or artwork that they put on the packaging, which is weird. But enough about Kitty Pryde, because I'm pretty sure we're done with this. It's okay. The X is also crooked on her belt. It's just passable. Let's get on to the Colossus, which is way better. Oh, and I also have the alternate head on this guy. Darn it. Okay, here he is. This Colossus is wonderful. Now people want the one where it's completely classic with the shoulder pads flaring out to the side. I don't necessarily need that. I'm actually okay with this one. Do I like this design better than the classic? I have respect for the classic, but this one just looks better to me. And I think this looks great. The proportions are very well done, and there's some things that are really nice here, like this silver paint. They absolutely killed it. This guy's not that swirly plastic color, and let me show you the difference. You see that? This is like some Silver Surfer stuff that they're putting out. And then they have this really nice paint job here. So, and then of course these joints are red, so you're not going to break any illusion there. And they painted the joints here and have the joints the same. The only thing is right here, that does look a little weird. But on the front, when you put them down like this, they painted this and they sculpted it. So that's really cool. I really like that. And then, yeah, there's no paint on any of this to begin with, so there's going to be no paint on the back. I think, actually, they have some on the belt here. That X is nice. And then for the legs here, it all looks good. And, yeah, I think they did a really good job on this one. They definitely tried harder on this one. And then for the Colossus head, I think it maybe should be, for Astonishing X-Men, a little more brought in. Those cheekbones should be a little more defined, but it's okay. I'm not really complaining. I do really like the way this Colossus looks. He got pretty big feet, which I think are necessary for this guy. They don't have to be this egregiously huge, but I don't think it throws anything off here, and I think it's okay. And then for the sake of getting clean lines all throughout this suit here, we have it molded separately. So this is different. It's not just painted on. And then you have the zipper going all the way down, which looks really good. And it actually looks like they could have done an inverse ab crunch. They could have done one right here. But nope. That's for the articulation to worry about. The legs look great, the muscles and everything. They sculpted all the ridges. And the hands look pretty good. I think these are new. I don't think these are like the old ones. I think the old ones had a lot more boltage coming out from here in the fingers and the little joints there. So this looks really, really good. And then this is kind of going more into the articulation, but still not really. With the fact that you have these little cuffs, you can bring the shoulders up so that way they're not so sunken down. So if you ever just want to bulk him up a little bit more, you can definitely do that, make the shoulders pop, which I really like doing. And should they be up a little more? I don't really know. I don't think that's the most... Like, people are saying that the shoulders should be put up a little more, make him look a little more broad. I think he looks just fine. I think he looks really good, and I actually prefer the way he is. So let's go on to the articulation now. And I actually did this out of order. I always do the accessories first. So we'll go on to the accessories for these figures. We get the 2 open standard female hands for Kitty Pryde. Then we get, obviously, the 2 fists that are way too small. We get this alternate head sculpt, which you already know my thoughts on. And this one, which she just is locked in, and it's okay because, again, no paint anywhere on the hair. For Colossus, we get this alternate head sculpt where he is gritting his teeth and very angry. I think this looks really good, and they did a very good job on this. And then for him, he also has a pair of, oh gosh, he has a pair of punching hands, which also came out really good. And then the Lockheed, like I showed you earlier, it's okay. A little bare bones in the accessories. This is what, $55? I would like to see something to incorporate a little more play, and we're just kind of getting this, but it's passable. It's okay. So now let's get into the articulation. First, we'll do Kitty Pryde. So like I had mentioned before, Kitty Pryde is on a dated body. So for example, the head, without the ponytail getting in the way, she's only going to look up this high. And then she has like a small bit of tilt, not enough to really add some... Yeah, I mean, you can make it work, add some dynamicy, some little attitude, personality a bit there. That looks okay. And then obviously all the way around. And then with the other head sculpt, I know it's obvious, but just in case, just to really scratch the itch, you're not going to look up. The hair's too stiff. And then you have a little bit of tilt. You can get a little bit out of that still, but it just looks a little weird. The hair's starting to get a little floaty. So just popping this back on. This is the more optimal one for any action poses and stuff, especially because this ponytail moves. So for the arms, she's gonna move, they're gonna move out to 90. A little better, a little better than 90. We get a good bicep cut there. Get double jointed elbows, which work really nicely and aren't really ugly. They actually look pretty good. And then we get the standard Hasbro wrist hinge and the swivel. And then for the torso articulation, again, it's on a very dated body, so it's only going to crunch this much forward, that far back, which is actually really good. And then side, really good. So still somehow everywhere better, but forward. And there's like a small bit of gapping, but they just have to make the balls a little bigger. And then I think, yeah, just etch out a little more room in the actual part of the figure, not the top here. But obviously you're going to get a swivel around like that. It will break up the sculpt, duh. And then for the legs, there's, get kicked this high. That's actually pretty good. And then splits, really disappointing. And then you get a thigh swivel. And then you get the double jointed knees, which proportions are good and it looks really good. It works really well. And then no shin swivel, which definitely should be the designs right here. I didn't even notice, gosh, how bad this paint is here. Like, really, that's atrocious. Just going over one of the things and adding that little square of yellow, this just looks bad. You get the ankle articulation from this far down, that far up, and then you get the ankle pivot there, and that's gonna be it for this figure. And then going on to Colossus, he's gonna have a disc hinge, so it looks that far up, which a double ball peg would have worked just fine. Looks this far down, and then that also would have avoided having this really weird disc hinge that's a different color, so that would have been more optimal. And then he doesn't really get any side to side, so you can't really pose anything with that. He just has to look like this, which is awful. And then the articulation for the shoulder, he's gonna put his arm up this high, which is good in my opinion. You get a bicep swivel, single jointed elbows, which work really well. This is exactly how you should do them. They did a great job. I'm okay with them giving single jointed elbows. And we get the wrist swivel here, and then the standard Hasbro hinge. And I want to talk about these butterfly joints because look at these cuts, these huge cuts, and they only move back this far. And if they're gonna have this much little movement, like this is not doing anything aside from slightly adjusting the shoulder up. It's not, there's not much you can really get. Like, sure, is this enough for you guys? Is this like, do you really need this for a figure? Because people really glaze Spider-Man figures that don't even have butterfly joints. And when they do, they usually don't work as well, unless it's $50. So it's not enough to warrant the cut and everything like that and the break of the sculpt in the back. So if you're gonna do it, at least make it work well. It looks like he should be doing some like what Hulk has in the back there, but no, they just stop. So anyways, obviously arm's gonna go all the way around, and then moving on to the torso. Again, like I said, they could have added an inverted ab crunch right here, and that would have been great. or just do double ball pegs, torso, like the Mayfix style, which is not hard to do. Jada Toy style does it. McFarlane does it. Just do it well. That one joint we get here is not enough. That does not work. And then we do get a swivel here, and then we also get a twist at the bottom of the waist there. So it's there. It's not the most effective, but it's there. Then the legs are going to kick up this high, which should be a little more. And then splits are really good. That's almost full splits. That's definitely enough for me. And then the, not bicep swivel, the upper thigh cut is hidden in the design, which looks great. And pretty much so are these knees too. They're hidden here, but obviously once you get to here, you can see them. But his knees go in that much, which is really good in my opinion. I think this is great. And then you don't get any shin swivel, which is again another opportunity to hide that cut. Would have been perfect. But you do get ankle articulation going down, going up, and then going side to side with pivoting. So yeah, in some spots the articulation is really good, and in some spots it's just absolutely like mind-blowing. Like what are we doing here at this point? Here they are next to the Mayfix Jim Lee style Wolverine. Here they stand next to the CT Toys brown suit Mayfix style Wolverine. Here they stand next to the John Byrne brown suit Wolverine from the Deadpool Wolverine movie. Here they stand next to the Deadpool Wolverine suit with the sleeveless version. Here they stand next to movie Deadpool from Deadpool Wolverine, and it has striking similarities to the regular Deadpool, the 2016 one, or the Legacy Collection. Here they stand next to the Maximum Deadpool. Here they stand next to the Bonebreaker Wave Cable. Here they stand to the Fantastic Four reissue of Doctor Doom. And here they stand next to the 20th Anniversary Hulk. And finally, here they stand next to the Sonic 3 Jakks Pacific Sonic the Hedgehog figure. Alright, so what are my final thoughts on this 2-pack? I want to be forgiving because I really do like this set. I think Kitty Pryde is a good figure. I think Colossus is a good figure, so it's not like there's really anything being locked behind, you know, it's not like a Silver Samurai and Wolverine 2-pack issue here. I mean, maybe people might just want the Colossus more than the Kitty Pryde, but I do remember both of these figures being sought out and just a lot of people wanted them. So, and I wanted them. I wanted both of these figures when I saw this 2-pack. So I enjoyed them. I just think, again, it's held back from the issues that Hasbro keeps on doing with their figures. So I'm going to give this 2-pack a 6.5 out of 10 because I'll give it a 7 to be generous. I do enjoy it. I had a lot of fun with these two, and it's just really nice, like shelf presence wise. It's nice posing wise, but of course, Kitty Pryde, you're going to be able to do a lot less, and that's just unfortunate. So that's why I do want to only give it a 7 out of 10. I really want to give this 2-pack higher, and if I was letting my bias completely just take over about how much I like these two, then I'd be giving it like an 8.5, a 9 out of 10, but it just doesn't reach there. So yeah, but it's still a good 2-pack. If you see it, I recommend you picking it up because it does pass that mark, and I think that you will enjoy it. And I know they're kind of going expensive now, so I would, if you are interested, I would definitely get it now. But yeah, I mean, I found this at my Walmart, and I was lucky because it was the last one. But yeah, I'm glad I picked it up. So I think you guys will be too. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you've enjoyed, please give this video a like, and if you're new, subscribe and turn on notifications so that way I can give you the truth on the next figure. Thank you guys again for all the support and everything. It means so much to me. And spread peace, love, and please be greater together. See you in the next one, guys. Bye.